Hello, Supercars in Seconds here. Today with two great cars for us. In the world where everything is starting to go hybrid and get plugged into the wall, I've got two sort of, maybe some of the last crazy V8 twin-turbo coupes that are really nice GT cars that have a very sporting personality. I'm sitting in a 2025 Aston Martin Vantage, the new upgraded version, rear-wheel drive. Next to me is the Mercedes AMG GT 63. Similar engine, of course. They do share some similar things in the platform, but their personality is incredibly different. But let's look at this Aston Martin first, then we'll take a look at the Mercedes next. So 2025 Aston Martin Vantage. They've really upgraded the car dramatically. From the front here, you can see they've pushed her out more, much bigger wheels and tires. It's a special tire from Michelin. It's the Pilot Sport 5S. We got a 275 width here and a 325 width here. The Mercedes-Benz we'll look at in a minute is all-wheel drive, so a more square setup, but we'll look at that in a minute. The color is just spectacular. Look at this metallic in it. It's just lovely. Little camera under the mirrors, of course, 360 camera system. Aston Martin has really stepped up its game as far as technology in the car. And this rear view mirror look right here with those lovely vents in the hood there and those raised sections really gives a great look into the car. LEDs like these little light bars light up across there and just give it a special look. The door, if I hold the camera straight, the door goes up on an angle. It's called a swan wing door. Usually because low curbs like this on the sidewalk might be a bit too high, so it allows the door to, from that position, go upwards, giving us better clearance of the door, because of course you don't want to damage this lovely paint. But we'll go inside now in a moment. That's on the outside here. Again, that wheel is just huge, particularly compared to the previous car. It's gone, 30-40 mil wider on the rear tires. I love these exhausts. Let me go back a little bit and crouch down. You've got that very aggressive diffuser here. And again, the 4 exhaust pipes barking like crazy when you're going down the road. Again, in the age of hybrid and electric cars, this is maybe some of the last super cool coupes. I pop the trunk open. I'm gonna go my hand under here. The vehicle is actually a hatchback. So when I go back to the side, you've got a lovely storage area in the rear, a privacy area. This little cover here will come off, but it lines up with this little level here, which you can push forwards out of the way. And then you've actually got quite a big storage area in the back. I'll close it back down. Of course, everything is leather. You've got the umbrella hanging underneath. Alcantara inside, leather outside. Let's close that back down. Yeah, beautiful. 177 inches long. She's 78 inches wide, about 3,880 pounds. So it's heavier than you think. But we got engine in the front, transmission is back here. They've really done a nice job of equalizing the balance of the car. But let's take a look inside the car, and then we'll go and take a look at the Mercedes. Okay, so far as powertrain on the Aston Martin, open up this beautiful, look at that lime essence paint, isn't that lovely? Just amazing. A very large hood, it's really incredibly wide, and you can see all of the ducting and so on that it has for cooling. These big turbochargers down, can you see them down in there? This is a 4-litre twin-turbo 8-cylinder. In this guy, she creates 656 horsepower and 590 pounds of torque. That's interesting, it's the same torque as the Mercedes we're going to look at next, so that's rather interesting. Both maximum peak torque is achieved around 2,500 RPM, 2,700 here, 2,500 RPM on the Mercedes. These aluminum cast structures for the suspension housings are just incredible. Look at this detail, it's just really beautiful. Again, driving the rear wheels only through an 8-speed transmission. Not a dual clutch in the car. It is a conventional automatic, and you don't really notice that, to be honest with you. It's not a true sort of track car. This is very much a very fast, powerful GT car, kind of blurring the lines between a track supercar and a GT. So looking around the interior for 2025, you can see they've gone to these beautiful touchscreens, center and up in front of the gauges here. The steering wheel is just beautiful. A very thick rim, as we'll see that now when we're driving the car. I love the Aston Martin wings all stitched in, of course. Then we have lime essence paints with the lime accents on the seat, all stitching and piping actually on the seat. And a lovely new pattern of stitching for 2025. Full Alcantara headliner in this one. And just a lovely look. Seating controls are down here in the center console. So it's normally on the door, but it's on the center console, obviously for the backrest and the base. This is interesting. I've got, by clicking it down, that illuminates and it will do the lumbar support. Clicking it up, it will make these bolsters squeeze in on you. So that's rather nice. Let me climb into the car. This one, as I mentioned, has the yellow carbon fiber. I'll show you that now in the sun. It's just beautiful to match, of course, with the outside. Bowers & Wilkins audio upgrade, which is nice. Rear trunk releases here on the door, and then you've got your alloy. It is cold to touch your metal door handles with the lovely stitching line. Again, in the center console, we got a big screen here, and then a very flat looking area just here that's rather nice. I'm going to push my firm foot on the brake. And I love these little rollers. These are actually metal again. So I got my fan speed there. It'll roll up and down. So it's kind of nice. A lovely touch to it. Temperature for the driver shown there. And temperature for the passenger shown there. So it's really, they've really done a nice job with it. To change the modes in the car, I turn this big start stop button, and you'll notice the green color here on my display in front of me, and I'll twist it, and we now go from sport into sport plus. That does open up the baffles in the exhaust, so I'll give it a little rev for you now. Poke the phone outside. Just a great sound. They've really done a nice job with that. I can also twist it one more time to the right, and it will go into our track mode, giving us slightly different displays, and I can turn it all the way back through Sport Plus, through Sport to Individual. On Individual, when I push that down, I can now select how I want the suspension, the steering, everything to be set up. But frankly, Sport Plus and Track do most of it for you very easily. Okay, closing the door here. Really a great view. I've got the seat controls I just showed you. I can take the seat way down and get the steering wheel way out to me as well. You can really get a lovely driving position. Even though it's a small car, you can move the seat and have all the controls very dramatically. And you know, like I said, on the seat control there, you can squeeze the bolsters in. You can really get in a comfy spot. Let's go into reverse here. A little rock that thing forward. I'm going to turn this little dial, as I showed you, to get into the Sport Plus mode, and we'll take a little blast here. Great sound. Again, I think we're going to miss this sound as time goes by here, you know. Whoop. Hear the pops and bangs there. I love it. All right, let's warm it up. Yeah, she's powerful. Transmission is 8-speed automatic, but it doesn't feel like that. It's not quite as quick as perhaps a PDK in a Porsche or something like that, but it's very quick changing. I touch it and it goes down very quick. It does go up the gears faster than it goes down the gears. Now let's loop this thing around. Let's go into the old track mode. Now it's alive. Oof. Wow. Great balance. And we are moving. Yeah, brakes are super solid. This is actually the steel rotor. They offer a ceramic option as well. that's great turning through Batman's corner there. A little bit of body movement, but very well damped, super control of the car. Let's try out these big steel brakes. Yeah, dipped the nose way down, very aggressive braking, but didn't pull on the steering wheel. Very good. So going down at a nice, sensible pace there. It's third gear into the hard right-hander. It's interesting, it leans a little bit. Throttle response super sharp. Steering wheel's very thick. It's maybe a BMW M car, like, so that thicker wheel. It does feel good though. The leather's very soft on it. Brake feel, again, it's maybe the steel rotor is wide, but immediate response. It's a very quick response to the brake and not much movement in the pedal to make it work. I like the bit of movement in the car. It makes it feel more alive underneath here. They've really done a great job with the car. Okay, so starting on that similar side profile, again, sunburst yellow here is the name of the color. Just a pretty shade on the car. I actually like it. It's just, they're all black, so kind of nice to see a change of pace. I do like these tires. A 305 section there, 295 section there. As I mentioned when I was in the Aston Martin, this one's all-wheel drive. The Aston Martin was just rear-wheel drive. This one's a bit bigger too. The Aston was 177 inches long. This is 186 inches long. Because you have the addition of an extra sort of drivetrain, transmission to make it all-wheel drive, a little bit more weight. You're going from 3,800 to about 4,200 pounds just here. Height-wise, this one's 53. The Aston Martin was 51. So it's just like the Aston's just a tiny bit smaller, but they are both the same 78 inches wide. Again, I like these exhausts, really super cool, and again, a great sound because, of course, I didn't say it, but they have the same engine block in both cars. Let's have a look at that front view. A very famous big vertical grille there, of course, and those vertical bars going back to the old 300 SL from the Gullwing car from the 50s, where they had to tip the engine on its side to get it underneath the very low hood. I'm glad they've kept little designs like that throughout their history. Let's have a look under the hood. So behind the lovely Falterback logo, where of course the AMG is based, wholly owned by Mercedes, but they're based there. Pull up on the little lever underneath and open it up. That heat shielding, a bit like the Aston Martin, same idea, to cool those turbochargers and stop them melting the car. Good looking. I like it. Of course, a lot of similarities from engine because it is the same engine block really underneath, supplied by AMG. More conventional structures here. Underneath the car, whereas the Aston was more that sort of cast section to control the damper a little better. Here we have 577 horsepower from the 4-litre V8 twin turbo, but the same 590 pounds of torque that the Aston Martin had. Both reached, as I mentioned, at around 2,500 RPM. 9 gears in the transmission. Again, all-wheel drive, but 9 gears in the transmission. Again, automatic. But again, the paddles respond very quickly, so I don't think you really miss the fact that it's not a dual clutch. They call it MCT, multi-clutch transmission, but they are actually all in a straight line, so it's an interesting transmission. One of the better ones, I think, actually. I like the wheel. I like the little alloy accents. It's just a beautifully made car. Let's take a look inside. So moving further down, we've got our window switches here, and haptic touch, just touch on that and it will illuminate. Then you can move the mirror around just there either side. You can also fold the mirrors in by holding this one down. Just here we got our seat cooling, seat heating and cooling, seat heating, seat cooling, and pushing the R allows these controls to move the passenger seat for you. Further down in this little cuppy hole, it's not bad size, bottle of water would fit. You've got your trunk release. It will open and it will close the trunk by pulling and pushing back and forth. Of course, the AMG cars, you've got the sunburst yellow paint on this one. I love the metallized AMG plate there to when you open the doors. Also, the branding is absolutely everywhere, steering wheel and so on. I like the aluminum pedals down there. Let me climb inside the car. I like these air conditioning vents too, really nice looking. A lot of design went into that for sure. The main display itself, let me zoom out a little bit. Digital in front of me, and of course this lovely screen. Looks a bit like an iPad just leaned against the main display. I'm going to reach back behind there. I've got my engine start stop. Push firmly on the brake and the car will come to life. These little things will wake up now and show you modes and how you adjust everything, the dynamics and the mode setting itself. We're currently in the comfort mode shown on the display up here. Bottom right corner will show you C. Let me close the door to clear the display. Actually, I'll leave it open just for a minute and we can have a listen to the exhaust. Let me turn this up to Sport. No change. Let's go up to Track. Sport Plus gives me now the exhaust. Let's give it a rev. Really very nice. I like on the main display that the revs will go either side. Watch this. It like expands out either way. Rather cool. Car's running now, but the center console actually quite easy to operate. You have mostly haptic touch type controls. Some people like that, some people don't. The volume control is here, and it's not bad. It's a little tricky to use, but it's not bad. 3D image for the navigation. Of course, it's a very fast operating system to operate that. And I like the air conditioning. My driver's seat, passenger seat, and I can adjust the fan very quickly there, and the temperature very quickly there. So they've done a nice job to make it as user-friendly as possible. We've got our cup holders further underneath. We've got your wireless charger, and again, the USB-C ports are here. Further back, I push this little metal button. It opens up our center console for 2 more USBs back in the corner just there. Okay. We'll spin the little wheel here. We talked about Sport. Let's go Sport Plus. Ooh, that opens up that exhaust. Let's go back here. Great camera system. Again, similar to the Aston Martin, but a bigger screen here. Got the 360, and it's one of the better 360s on the market in both of these cars, in fact. All right. Transmission is good. It's fun actually. We've gone now from, of course, rear-wheel drive with the Aston Martin up to all-wheel drive and all-wheel steer. So at lower speeds, the wheels will turn in opposite directions. At higher speeds, like now I'm going through a gliding right-hander, all 4 wheels are turning the same direction. So pretty clever stuff. It does shrink the length of the car, even though it's heavier and it's nearly a foot longer. It does feel about the same size, frankly. It does. Yeah. All right, let's wake this little monster up. It grips better. It does. That all-wheel drive, it grips better. I think the Aston Martin feels more alive, but this feels more sure-footed. Does that make sense? Into old Batman's corner. I'll click that down. Let's go 3rd gear here. Nice. Yeah, same thing. It's I can feel the weight difference there, but let's try these big brakes out on this car. Again, full emergency stop. Yeah, similar idea. Yes, amazing brakes, but the Aston had more of a bite to it. Sometimes it's hard to hide that 300 or 400 pounds. It is. Here we go. So coming down at normal road speeds. Right, 3rd gear into this right-hander. Yeah, it's very interesting. Yes, you can feel more weight, but this is easier to drive very fast. What I mean is it's more complementary to the driver. The Aston, I bet you, could go faster through that series of bends, but this feels more sure-footed. The all-wheel drive and the all-wheel steer feels like you're Batman. You can go through anything and nobody could ever beat you. The Aston is more alive and gives you a lot more feedback. Again, a thick steering wheel here, so steering feel, I guess, is kind of similar. A little sharper on the Aston maybe, but it's very similar. But the all-wheel drive does make a difference here. It doesn't feel any heavier when I was going faster there, but through the corners, I got more confidence in this, but I'm having more fun, I think, in the Aston Martin. So that's kind of a weird one. Price-wise, they're very similar. A full spec one of these are around 200. The Aston Martin starts around 190. So you can end up a little bit more for the Aston Martin, but of course it's handmade, so you're getting that sort of exclusivity. If you call a friend 1,000 miles away and just say, I've just bought an AMG or I've just bought an Aston Martin, their reaction on the other end of the phone, the difference is why maybe you buy the Aston Martin. Both great cars, I don't think you can go wrong. This is a great car also. I do like the bright colors on both of them. I think you can get away with it on each car, but as you know, a majority of them are blooming black. A bit more fun here. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do subscribe if you don't mind. We'd love to have you be a part of the channel, and I'll catch up with you again on another video soon. Thank you.